Hello friends, welcome back to New Toy Tuesday, the weekly series where I get to show you a new toy on Tuesday. This week's new toy, it's not new, but it's new to me, Distress Texture Paste Translucent. I usually use my big tub of Utrit modeling paste, but I had a coupon burn a hole in my pocket, so I thought I would get some of this Tim Holtz texture paste and try it out. We're going to use these seashell stamps again that I love, some distress paint, a dilution stencil, and this chipboard tag from, I bought these off clearance at Michael's a couple years ago. So we're going to make a tag using some of this translucent texture paste. Let's get started. All right, first thing I'm going to do is put a little paint on this here tag. We're going to use some distress paint in prize ribbon and salvaged patina. That's just going to be kind of messy. Prize ribbon is such a nice blue. I didn't gesso this tag. I'm gonna let the paint go ahead and kind of soak into it. Just paint on a layer. I'm gonna blot this with a paper towel. Get a little interesting texture on it from the paper towel. All right, now I'm going to use this dilution stencil. It sort of reminds me of a net. And just randomly paint a little bit through it with the salvage patina. Which is not going to be pure unadulterated salvage patina. It's mixed with the prize ribbon a little bit because I didn't feel like cleaning out my brush. All right, I'm gonna go dry this and I'll be right back. Alrighty, before I move on to the modeling paste, I want to splatter this with some gold. So I have in this little cup some gold acrylic paint. It's just the Liquitex Basics inexpensive acrylic paint. A little bit of water. Let's see how much I need to thin this out to get it to splatter. Let's see. Oh, definitely more than that. You might hear a little whining because we are crate training with Ginger. And of course she's not happy. So if you hear any whining puppy noises, I promise you she's not being tortured. Although she may think she is, now that I think about it. A little more water in there. There we go. All right, I'm gonna rinse these brushes out. Let this dry for a few minutes and I'll be back. I have a pretty cool background going. I brought over a piece of cardstock and my usual modeling paste because I wanted to see the difference. between the usual modeling paste that I use and this translucent texture paste. So let's scoop a little bit out of each one. A few out of the way. So here we have my modeling paste, and you know what? We're going to do it right through the stencil. I'll just get a little bit on my palette knife here. And this is what I normally use. And this is very thick because it's definitely an artist medium, not a crafter's medium. It's very thick, and it's if I heat gun dry it, it's kind of gets rubbery. So there's the modeling paste. Let's open up this texture paste and see how different they look. Now granted, this one is translucent, but I still think we'll get the fact that there's a difference, right? Okay. Let's put some of this on. And see, you can already tell that it's thinner. So it's going to dry faster because it's thinner. All right, stencil. So the modeling paste, because it's heavier, you know, it stays a little thicker than the texture paste. But the texture paste is going to dry quicker. And this one will actually dry translucent because I bought the translucent. So let's move on to our stenciling. I might wipe this off a little bit. As you can tell, this is a well-loved stencil. Wipe this off a little. Wipe this off a little. And I'm not going to worry about lining this up with what I did with the paint. Don't care about that. Get our palette knife here. Get a little bit of this out. And again, just random. Press and seal out to put in the lid. Do that later. Okay, distress texture paste. Pull it off. There we go. Go around the edge here. Clean. I always like to clean up the edges when I'm using this type of stiff. I don't like prickly edges. All right, there we go. Now I want to do a little bit of embossing glaze on some of this. I'm not going to embossing glaze all of it, I want to still just have some clear texture. But I do want some. A little bit up there. So this is Vintage Photo, the best brown in all the land. We're going to do a little prize ribbon. That mixed with the Vintage Photo. And we're going to use a little salvaged patina. There. We're going to let this dry and then we will heat it to melt the embossing paste. While that's drying, I thought we could work on our stamping. And I have a few seashells already cut because they're leftovers from another project. See if we think any of these will work. See, I'm thinking I might want to use that starfish. Maybe that shell with the polka dots. Maybe that shell with the polka dots. I think I'm just going to use those that are already done. And then I have some embellishments. Got a wooden seahorse. I definitely want to use him instead of stamping one. Found a few wooden shells in my stash. Have a little vial that I filled with tiny holeless beads, glitter, silver glass shards. I think that's a little bit of green mica. I'm going to use this. Have a Tim Holtz pen nib. I'm going to use that. I want to use one of these word things. I'm just not sure which. I'm thinking journey. Or maybe, focus on the good. We'll use focus on the good. And I want to rub a little gold paint into this. Get a baby wipe here. So you just take a little gold paint or black or whatever color you want. But I'm using gold since I used gold on the background. And you rub it down into the design on your metal piece. Make sure all that's covered. And then what happens, wipe it off, it stays down in the design. And actually I'm going to do that again because I could have covered that a little better. You see there's some spots that are still black. And we'll just wipe it off again. Oh yeah, it's better. There we go. And that'll only take a minute to dry since there's not a whole lot in there. All right, I'm going to heat this baby up. Alrighty, look at that. Now I went ahead and heated it before it was completely dry because I wanted it to bubble up. And it did. I got me some bubbles in there. It's super shiny. Oh, such a pretty background. Okay. Let that cool off a little bit because it is a little toasty. Now we're going to use a little burlap. And this is just off a roll from Walmart. Back in the sewing and craft section where they have like fake flowers and stuff to make wreaths. This is probably meant for wreaths, but that's not what I want it for. But I did, you know, I didn't need a super wide piece of it, so this was a good way to buy it instead of like buying a quarter yard or something at the fabric section of the craft store. So I'm gonna mess this up a little bit. And let's see, we're gonna want it about this long. That'll go about there. I'm going to do this other piece. Treat it just as badly. Cut off that sewn edge there. Then probably want that to about there. I'm going to use a little E600 to attach them. Here. this piece like this. We've got all our little goodies to arrange. And I have some letters. And you want to put the word C down here. And these are Bubble Abilities from Hobby Lobby. So they're pretty inexpensive. But I thought the color would look really nice on here. And they're gonna need a little extra adhesive, I'm sure. Put a little bear glue on them. There's the A. And I made a mess, but the bear glue will be right there, so I think it's safe. Now I'm not coating the whole back, just enough to keep them from popping off. And then the S. There we go. Move my S over a little bit. Right about to there. Up. Up a little bit. There we go. We'll cut this off a little bit. Since it's completely covering it, I don't do a whole lot of measuring. I just kind of like to throw things together and be surprised by what's going to happen. And then we'll pull that apart. There we go. And then we have C. Now this charm that I painted, I'm actually going to attach up here in the ribbon. So let's start arranging here. I wonder if I shouldn't rub a little paint on him. Maybe a little gold. a tiny bit of the salvage patina. Oh yeah, okay. Yep, that was a good call. Oh yeah, I like that better than the... See, that's why I never throw my little paint cups or anything away until I'm done. Because you never know when you might decide you want some of the stuff. All right, so let's get our goodies on. Let's do sand dollar. I'm probably just gonna use E600 for everything because it'll just be easy. Sand dollar. And then a shell. Maybe about here. I got paint on my fingernail. Because I want the seahorse to be about in the middle, I think. Starfish. These little wooden shells too. Oh, maybe we should add some paint to this. Yes, yes we should. Oh yeah, okay. Doctor it up. Here. There we go. Hold all this down for a sec. Give it all a second to grab. Okay, hold that now. Needs a moment. Where, ooh, maybe we want that there. Thought I was going to have it over on the left of the seahorse, but I think that's where I want it. Right about there. And that can go down there. bit of glue. This is a second to grab. I'm gonna nest up some threads behind our seahorse. Give him a little more of a focal point. So we've got some copper, some gold, and some black. I can better face him that way. I do. He needs paint. See, you really should plan a little better than I do. And a little bit of blue. Yep, that's better. All right, let's flip him over, put some glue on, and we'll add some strings behind him. This black is 6-strand embroidery floss. I'm gonna pull some of it apart. We'll pull, let's do two strands, yeah. Got the gold, go for the gold, and the copper. All right, just line some of this up. Add a little more glue. And some more black. Like this. And I'm going to put, yes, a little more glue on behind the seahorse. So he doesn't come unstuck. I want him here. clamps and clamp him down while he dries. I think they'll reach. There we go. And then I can add some dewdrops. Yes. All right, so we've got dewdrops. We've got the blues. Add some blues on. I think I should probably really be clamped long enough. Figure out where we want to place some. Oh, flipped over on me. Why? About one here. One there. There. We'll do a big one over there too. That's all the blue. Oh, Ginger's starting to whine. Sorry. I've got the brown and green here. Do a brown one right here. Brown one right there. And that right there. Okay, that's enough of those. And I thought maybe a couple of small gold ones and or silver. Slip one in there. Yeah. How about a silver one right there? All right. Dewdrops. There we go. And then I do have a little bit of bling. Thought we'd see if any bling would work. So I've got some really nice under the sea colors. There we go. All right, let's get gluing these on. Trim some of these strings because they're a little crazy. And I thought about, just to see what would happen, rubbing a little bit of this texture paste on to the seahorse. Because why not? Wonder if it'll make him shiny. Do it kind of rough so there's some texture. Or maybe I'm totally messing them up. Guess we'll know when it dries. Experiments. But I'm thinking it's probably going to look neat. I'm not going to go on his fins and his tail, just his main parts here. All right, I'll let that dry and see if I ruined him. And the last thing I wanted to do was put some of this trim down at the bottom coming out, but I think I need to color it a little bit. Let's get our craft sheet back over here. And our baby wipe with a random paint on it. prize ribbon. Okay, I'm going to dry this with the heat gun, and then we're going to glue it on the tag from behind. All right, the trim is dry. I'm just going to use a little bare glue and glue it to the tag from behind so that it's got this little dangly trim on it. And you could use whatever you have, tacky glue, hot glue gun. Just, you know, something that sticks your embellishments down well. Like your tape runner, that's not going to be a good idea. Right here. Press it down for a sec. Oh, Ginger's having a fit in there. Great training stuff sometimes. Okay, let that sit. So we have our pretty charm for up there at the top. I also have some of these antique gems from Ideology. I'm going to use one of those. I love these. I've gone through quite a few packages of these since they came out. Probably need to see if there's more. See if I can get some more. Okay, so while that is setting up a little longer, I'm going to take that baby wipe that's got the paint all over it. Sorry for my reach. I'm going to mess this seam binding up a little bit. A little bit of gold on there. Okay, I'm gonna go dry this with the heat tool. Then we'll start putting our stuff through the hole in the top of the tag. All right, that's dry. I didn't unfold it or anything. Just left it the way it is because I think the way I'm gonna put it in there, it's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna cut this off. And there. In there. There we go. See, look at that. Isn't that cute? That little bit on the bottom. A couple of jump rings. I'm going to put a few together so this can be longer. So we have a link of 3. And then I'm going to take this 4th one and put our word charm on. we've got a dangly with our word charm. Then I'm going to take the bling. There's, I think Tim called it antique gems. Yep. And we're going to go up to the second jump ring and attach it there. You guys, there's so much stuff stuck to my fingernails. Okay, we'll put this on here. I need you to bend back where you're supposed to be, please. There we go. So there's that. Focus on the good with some bling. Then I'm going to put it on, whoops, this is a piece of the burlap, just one of the strings that I pulled out, and we're going to use it. If I could find the jump ring. Oh, turn back around. There we go. There we go. So that's what we have so far. Okay. Just make sure on the back that the decorated side is turned around. Same with the front. So this is what you'll see. We're going to take this and tie it around. I'm not tying it bow or anything, I'm just tying it. Oh, sounds like she quieted down. Let's go out and give her a treat and tell her good quiet. Okay, so we'll cut this off. I cut that black off, but I'm not using it. Okay, friends, here's the completed project for New Toy Tuesday. This week's new toy was the Distress Texture Paste in Translucent. Used it on the background. This kind of diamond-y pattern. And then it's also on the seahorse body, and it's not completely dry yet, but it has started to dry. There's some spots that are completely clear and shiny. So that'll be really neat, I think, when it completely dries. Y'all, this thing smells like paint and glue right now. Whew. It is a little fumey. But yeah, this dried a lot quicker than the modeling paste that I typically use. So I like it. I like it a lot. And when it dries, it is super shiny. So there we go. Go buy you some. Oh, happy Tuesday. Remember, be excellent to each other. Go make something. Bye-bye.